Welcome to the first episode of the Eat+Be Positive podcast. I'm your host, Jenn Matney. I'm a holistic nutritionist living on the South Shore of Massachusetts, and I work collaboratively with individuals to identify their health concerns and create a personalized plan to begin their journey to health. Educating individuals on health-building foods and lifestyle practices that support their personal choices and well-being is my biggest passion. In the Eat+Be Positive podcast, we'll be focusing on the many facets of nutrition, food, health, and wellness, exploring information from my clinical experience, personal life experience, and what I'm currently studying. Let's go! Quickly, before we begin, please keep in mind this podcast is meant for educational purposes only and should never be used as a replacement for medical diagnosis or medical treatment. Any listener with existing medical problems should consult with integrative, functional, or medical doctors. All right, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about a number of different things. First of all, I wanted this episode to serve as an introduction to Eat+Be Positive podcast, but also to myself, Jenn Matney. So I'm going to be going over my health background, my reason for studying holistic nutrition, my credentials in holistic nutrition, and I also want to focus on Eat+Be Positive podcast and talk about why I've started this podcast, aka what I hope you, the listener, will be able to get out of it. We're also going to be discussing my ideas for best travel snacks. Being on vacation is a great way to give your body a break from stress, right? While reconnecting with your family or your loved ones. Many of my clients, though, identify that traveling can be a huge obstacle for them in finding foods that support their health. So I'll be sharing my favorite travel snacks for those of you who are looking to build your health even when you're traveling. Many moons ago, I was born with cancer. I've always been on the search for anti-cancer actions or anti-cancer foods I could use, techniques to keep myself safe and free from cancer. I also happen to have Hashimoto thyroiditis, so I have a lot of experience with taking medications regularly, still having symptoms from my autoimmune condition, which can be frustrating. I also have a long history of looking for foods that would make me feel lighter and healthier and stronger. I also personally have dealt with emotional eating. I, like many others I know, have used food as a balm for depression, partner to celebration, all of those things. So I decided that I would go back to school for holistic nutrition. I have my certification from Bauman College, and I really fell in love with Bauman College specifically because they looked at health in a holistic way. The idea was treating the entire person, the whole person, and not just the thyroid or the heart or the stomach. I also really connected with the idea that one size does not fit all. In fact, elaborating on that point, different seasons of my life have even called for different nutritional needs. I've also met a lot of individuals in the nutrition field at conferences or expos. They might be doctors or dietitians or even fellow holistic nutritionists. And a lot of them are critical of their clients and sometimes their peers. There isn't a standard in dietetic work or nutrition work to be critical of what other people are putting in their bodies. Sometimes people can be critical of those who are not vegan, those who are vegan, those who are not paleo, etc. There's a number of different diet styles out there. Upon meeting a lot of these individuals and realizing how much judgment can be attached to your food for the average person, for the average client, I made a vow to myself to always remain positive with my clients and to instill in them the idea that having a positive relationship with oneself and with one's nutrition is really necessary. Whatever idea or health concern or emotion or thought really spurred them to listen to me, brought them one step closer in their journey, and that, to me, should be celebrated and not criticized. So it's always a non-judgmental, positive environment here on Eat Positive, Be Positive podcast, as well as over at eatpositivebpositive.com. As I began learning all of these wonderful ideas about how to take care of myself and take my health into my own hands, I wanted to share everything I learned with every person in my life. That's where this podcast comes in. This podcast is about food and holistic health education. I want you guys, every listener, to tune in each week and learn something new about their health, or maybe spark an interest to read a new book, or even better, make actual changes in your diet and your lifestyle for the better. After 90 days of spending quality time with Eat Positive, Be Positive podcast, I want you guys to get something out of it. I want listeners to be on a more positive path to health and wellness. Every small health act leads to self-empowerment and self-confidence, leading to bigger changes. And today is a great day to start loving yourself and feel empowered about your own health. All right, guys, now we are to the fun part of the podcast, the food part. We'll be discussing different facets of this theme as we continue with the podcast, but food positivity entails choosing food your body needs. It also means enjoying your food and enjoying your food experience. When you travel, you may experience difficulty finding the foods which your body regularly requests. I know I do. Some of my favorite travel snacks include fruit, jerky, nuts, and my favorite, kelp energy bars. So let's unpack this. Fruit, pretty self-explanatory. Apples, oranges, strawberries, grapes, bananas. Blueberries, let's talk about blueberries for a second. Blueberries are nature's candy, in my humble opinion. They're great to travel with. Typically, you might need a refrigerator, but that's fairly easy nowadays. Next, let's talk about jerky. There's a line of jerky from a brand called Epic that I personally enjoy. When you look for your own jerky, look for a brand that uses whole food ingredients. Definitely turn it around. Check the label for added sweeteners or high levels of sodium and avoid those choices. Next, we have nuts. Almonds, walnuts, great sources of protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and magnesium. Brazil nuts are also super tasty and high in selenium. My advice is to find a nut or a seed you love and take it on the road. You definitely don't want to buy a huge quantity of a certain nut or seed and then not eat it on your travels. That's just wasted space. The final one I have here is kelp energy bars. Portability, check. Nutrient dense, check. Sweet and salty taste, most everyone loves in their snacks, check. These bars are super simple to make, super easy to transport, and most everyone loves them. I'll leave a recipe on my website detailing how to make my kelp energy bars, so be sure to go to eatpositivebpositive.com for more information. Before we wrap up this week's episode, I want to introduce a section called Food for Thought. And in this section, we'll be exploring the themes we visited during the episode of the podcast. And we're going to bring it back so we can really look at our own lives. We can bring the information into our own experiences. My food for thought for this week is, what's the trajectory of your health journey? What are some of the ups and downs or big takeaways, or maybe some big moment that changed your health journey in some way? I would love to hear about your journey to health. So head over to Facebook or Instagram, even YouTube, comment, share your health journey with me today. Next week, we'll be diving into more about having a positive relationship with food. We'll be talking about food positivity and why that's important for our mental and physical well-being. Before we send off today, and finish episode 1, if you have a question you'd like to send along, please email eatpositivebpositive@gmail.com. It's all one word. Also, don't forget, as Eat Positive, Be Positive podcast launches, I want to show my appreciation to all of you lovely people out there with a giveaway. This first month, one winner will get 1 whole month of nutrition meetings, including an initial consult, individualized diet and lifestyle plan, and 2 additional support meetings. That's 4 meetings in total for you to begin your health journey, and it's a small token of my gratitude to all of you listeners out there. Here's how to enter. Subscribe to Eat Positive, Be Positive podcast. Share your love for Eat Positive, Be Positive podcast on any social media platform you like, and review the podcast to send me some valuable feedback. Once you've done that, just send your email to eatpositivebepositive@gmail.com so I know you've entered the contest, and I'll choose a winner from there. Good luck to everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.